Hi, this is Neil of Team Teacher, teaching, living and raising a family in China. Today we're looking at a dining cutlery and plurals PowerPoint lesson. Let's check it out. As always, I start my classes with the rules slide. We go over the rules and I remind the students that if they follow the rules, then we're going to get a reward at the end of the class. And then we go into the dining cutlery portion of this particular class. The actual name of the module, topic of the story and the curriculum is Dinner is Ready, so I will have them repeat this. We do talk a little bit about breakfast, lunch and dinner, so I will ask them what they eat for dinner and they'll just tell me like noodles or soup and stuff. Remember, this particular class is actually for the very lower levels, primary, elementary schools, so we're talking like grade 1, grade 2, so their English is very, very basic. And so are their general concepts of life. Then we're going to introduce some vocabulary on cutlery. So we'll talk about plate, that hard sound at the end. We'll drill that, and also I'll elicit and try and get them to tell me what they eat on a plate. So they'll probably say things like pizza or eggs or something like that. And then we'll talk about bowl. This one again, I'm going to be eliciting what we eat in or from a bowl. And spoon, what we eat with a spoon, etc. Trying to get them to use vocabulary that I know they've learned in the past. And this one, chopsticks. Now, one thing that I really point out with these students here is it's chopsticks, as in there's 2 sticks, not chopstick, there's 1. And this is going to come into play later on in the class when we start talking more about plurals. To break up the drilling, we then go into a song, I'm a Little Teapot, a great little song with some action, gets them up, gets them moving, gets them dancing. Then we come back to some question games. So this question game is combining numbers with the vocabulary we've just introduced. Make sure that when you're going through the questions that the students are using the S at the end. You don't have to explain what the S means at this point, just really overemphasize it and get them to say it as just part of the word. So here, this is one they always seem to get wrong, because they will, when I ask how many chopsticks, they will say 1 chopstick because they think of it as one thing, but we do say 2 chopsticks. So at this point, they're starting to cotton on to the S and sort of what it would mean, that it means kind of more than 1. And then we just have this very quick, simple game that's quite fun. It's yes please, no thanks game. So here we're going to introduce different food items that I know that they've covered in previous classes, and they have to tell me yes please if they like it or no thank you. And we go through this very quickly, and it's just kind of like a bit of a break because I introduced these funny pictures of food and stuff like the hair pizza or teacher soup. Oh my gosh, disgusting. But it breaks it up, it has a laugh, and they get to practice their manners. And then we go into the plural song. So the plural song does have some actions, it's very fun and very catchy, but more importantly, it does kind of start to introduce that concept of plurals and the S. So when we come back into it, it's not so daunting. So here, I'm really just kind of focusing on singular and plurals by just kind of showing like 1 and 2 and with the S. So we'll be practicing the S, and we'll be practicing making the S with our bodies, making an S with our hands, and making an S sort of sound like a snake or something like that. Any sort of visual, physical thing that you can think of related to the S that would help students remember to add the S with these plurals is great. The more fun that they have with it, the more likely they are to remember it. And then we do some practice comprehension sort of games where they have to choose, is it the boy or boys, the S or no S. Now I want you to notice that as I've gone through this, I've not really introduced any exceptions, you know, like sheep, 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, no sheeps or fishes or something like that. I don't want to confuse them at this point. Remember, they're very low level, and I'm just really drilling and getting into them to using the S. There are exceptions, but the general rule is more important, I feel. So here we're going to talk about quickly sort of what they like, and this is all vocabulary that they've used before, and I want them to start using like with the S. And then sort of to finish the class, we have this grid game. So this grid game is great because you've got the numbers at the side, and then you can choose either the singular or the plural. Sometimes they get a bomb, their team loses points. Sometimes they get points for their team. Just make sure that they're using the number plus the correct singular or plural of the particular word. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed that class and that PowerPoint walkthrough. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. And remember to check out the link below for the copy of the PPT. Bye bye.